Good morning. Welcome to One Thing About Experiential Outdoor Hospitality. Being apart from versus a part of, differentiating experiential offerings from conventional thinking. That sounds like a fun topic for a Monday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Michelle Oliver with Talk About TV, and we come to you every Monday morning, usually with special guest Randy Hendrickson, to talk about one thing. So, what is the one thing you would like to talk about today? I just
Well,
said it, but you can say it again. You can
well,
say
the,
it
one-
two times.
the one thing is the two things. So being a part of versus being a part from. So little fun play on words there, but so it's really interesting because where we're at right now, the Evolved Lodging and the accommodation business is doing custom build accommodations, and those can be panelized RVIA certified park models. Those can be modular units, and we love customization. We're working on several different custom plans, but really what that got me to thinking was we have been really super fortunate to have a couple of great developers that we've been talking with recently. And we're talking about what their vision is for their property, what they want to see come of it. And so the default position is always, I'm going to research, if I'm the developer, I'm going to research what's out there, what's successful, what accommodations are successful. And it makes sense, right? Because if you find that this certain type of, like a cottage or this, whatever that accommodation might be, seems to be doing well to property, your first inclination is, I should probably have something like that in the mix. And you're right. There's no wrong in that. So if you bring familiarity, that's a good thing. You're going to differentiate it on your property with different things added to it, but there's no harm in that. And we're very well poised to suit anybody in that regard with traditional hospitality offerings. And that's what I'm referring to about being a part of. So other people are doing similar accommodations. We're just going to do it better. And then
Mhm.
there's the apart from. So there's some folks that have done this really well. First that comes to mind is Isaac French at Live Oak Landing. Coincidentally, my brokerage, the Intrepid Group, was fortunate enough to handle that transaction. It was arguably one of the very first large transactions at a great valuation for something unique. Now, Isaac looked at the environment and said, I want to do my own. So he built his own. The other one being Ben Wolf at Onera, because Onera has very unique accommodations. And I don't want to speak for either of these gentlemen, but I'll bet you Ben looked at the existing landscape and said, I want to do my own. And these are two very successful business models because they wanted to stand apart from, right? They said, I just want
Right.
to build my own and give my own identity, my own vision. That's the kind of stuff that gets me really excited. Um, as an example of some of the folks that are doing things apart from, I would advise anybody to go to Nook Outdoors, NOOK outdoors.com. Jeff Noonan put that site together, and he's got some of the best experiential properties in the country. Um, he's got, well, Terramore, which everybody knows, but he's got bed and breakfast. He's got different type of accommodations, hotels, and glamping and what have you. But his whole emphasis has been collecting the properties that are being apart from and not a part of. Everything in their collection is very unique and different. And I think arguably he's the first that has aggregated experiential accommodations, as you and I talk about it all the time, Michelle, right? I mean,
Mhm.
being different, being brave, standing apart.
Right.
So what's the moral to the story? The moral to the story is, I think because we built Evolve Lodging in the context of let's survey all that is and all that can be and serve both, that there is no wrong answer to this question. Now, the only wrong thing is if you get the same part model that's done the same as everybody else on planet Earth and you don't differentiate, then you've got a commoditization issue and you're just a place to stay. But wrapping the whole experience around it, that's where you get to stand apart. So again, moral to the story, being a part of is wonderful as long as you give yourself differentiation. Being apart from is a really viable model. And more to the point, if you're looking around out there at accommodations to say, if only it had this, we're the if only it had this company, right? So
Yeah.
somebody could call us and say, I really like this unit. If only it had a dormer on top, if only it had a wraparound porch, if only it had this. We have the ability to do the if only it had this part of the equation. And yes, there's some quantities. I mean, you got to do like five of these things to make it work with our manufacturing partner. But if you want to have a conversation about how to be apart from, let's talk about your vision. Let's draw it up and let's see what we can do together. So there you have it. Being apart from works. Being a part of works. Differentiation is what's going to make anybody successful.
And that is the perfect message for this week. So I would love to hear what you're doing to stand out and be different on your properties. Anybody that wants to share, let us know what you're doing. And the only thing I'll say, and we'll wrap it up for a Monday, is that it's so simple when you think about who you're serving. If this is about the guest, I think people forget. They think of it, of course, it's a business, and you're thinking, what am I going to add? And let's do what's working already, or what people have done in the past, or what makes sense on my old-fashioned, spreadsheet in my head. And
Yep.
yet you're not looking into the future, and you're not thinking what your guest wants. That's why it's called experiential outdoor hospitality, right? So anyway, thank you so much, Randy. That is absolutely powerful message, and can't wait to hear from everyone. As Randy said, let's talk. Let's hear what your vision is. How do you want to be different?
That's it. Perfect.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody.